If you watched the race this weekend, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. One of those days where NASCAR reminds you just how wild this sport can get. The kind of race where everything looks under control, and then suddenly, the entire thing explodes into chaos. And today, we actually have two major stories coming out of that race. The first one centers around a moment that completely flipped the race late in the event, a crash that destroyed a car, which looked like it genuinely had a shot at winning. A wreck that collected multiple drivers and left fans trying to figure out what really happened out there. But the second story might actually be even bigger. Because after the race, the garage area absolutely lit up. Drivers were frustrated, tempers were high, and now there are people inside NASCAR openly questioning whether what happened on track was just hard racing, or something more than that. And when NASCAR drivers start calling each other out publicly, you already know things just got serious. So we're going to break down exactly what happened during the race, how that crash unfolded, and why the reaction afterward might turn this into one of the most talked about moments of the season. But before we jump in, real quick, if you're a true NASCAR fan and you enjoy talking racing with people who actually watch every week, hit that like button and consider subscribing. This channel is brand new and we're building the NASCAR Central race community. So, let's start with the moment that really blew this race wide open. Joey Logano came into Phoenix Raceway with serious momentum. He started on the pole for the Straight Talk Wireless 500, which already told you Team Penske had brought a seriously fast car. When you start up front at Phoenix, you know you've got a real chance to control the race, if everything goes right. But the problem was everything did not go right. Late in Stage 3, with just 59 laps remaining, everything completely unraveled for Logano. It happened on lap 254. And it turned into one of those crashes that escalates in a split second with no warning. The entire sequence started when Logano moved up the track, heading into Turn 1. At the same time, AJ Allmendinger was right there, and as Logano came up into the racing groove, he cut directly across Allmendinger's line. Allmendinger clipped the right rear of Logano's car, and at Phoenix, once that happens, you already know what's coming next. Logano's car snapped sideways, shot up the track, and instantly the entire situation turned into a multi-car wreck. There was nowhere for anyone behind him to go. Chase Elliott was caught up in the chaos. AJ Allmendinger obviously took damage from the initial contact. And then Josh Berry came into the scene with absolutely no chance to avoid it. Berry summed it up perfectly afterward. He said it was basically the wrong place at the wrong time. And honestly, that's exactly what it looked like. When a car spins in the middle of traffic like that, sometimes there's just nothing the drivers behind can do. Logano later explained it from his side, saying he simply ran out of space going into Turn 1, but by then, the damage was already done. His car was completely destroyed. The pole sitter, who looked like he had a legitimate chance to fight for the win, was suddenly out of contention in a matter of seconds. And if that wasn't enough drama already, this wasn't even the first moment Logano had been involved in earlier in the race. Earlier in the Straight Talk Wireless 500. The incident tied to Logano had already triggered a crash that knocked Ross Chastain and Austin Cindric out of contention. So by the time that late race wreck happened, the tension was already building inside the race. And that brings us to the second story, because the real fireworks didn't just happen on the track, they happened after the race. In the hours following the event, multiple drivers started publicly criticizing Logano for what went down, and the reactions coming out of the garage were honestly pretty intense. Several drivers described the move that triggered the earlier crash as reckless and irresponsible. One driver who was involved in the wreck spoke after leaving the infield care center and didn't hold back at all. He said the move was completely unnecessary. He pointed out that on a restart, the entire field is stacked up together and aggressive driving in that moment can put a lot of drivers at serious risk. But the strongest reaction came from Ross Chastain. And if you follow NASCAR closely, you already know Chastain is never afraid to speak his mind. After the race, Chastain suggested the contact that triggered the wreck may not have been accidental at all. According to him, the move felt intentional, and he even connected it to what happened the previous weekend at the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas. After that race at COTA, several members of Chastain's team were suspended by NASCAR, while officials ruled the team had competed with an illegal setup. While those penalties hit the crew members, Chastain himself was still cleared to race at Phoenix. And Chastain suggested that situation may have created tension inside the garage. He told reporters he didn't know exactly what was going through Logano's mind, but the contact definitely raised questions. In his words, with everything that happened at Coda and the suspensions around his team, maybe some people in the garage didn't think it was fair that he was still allowed to compete. Chastain even went as far as suggesting Logano might have been trying to take him out of the race. And when a driver starts saying things like that publicly, you already know the situation has escalated. Other drivers caught in the accident backed up that frustration. One competitor described the move as imprudent, saying aggressive racing is part of NASCAR, but there's still a line, and when a single move wipes out multiple cars at once, something clearly went wrong. That reaction immediately sparked debate across the NASCAR garage and all over social media. Fans started arguing whether it was just hard racing, something we see all the time in the Cup Series, or if it crossed into avoidable recklessness. Chastain didn't stop there either. He actually called on NASCAR officials to review the incident and determine whether disciplinary action should be taken. According to him, NASCAR needs to take a closer look, and if the wreck wasn't clean racing, there should be consequences. As of right now, NASCAR officials haven't said whether they plan to review the crash or issue any penalties. But the controversy has definitely added another chapter to Logano's reputation. And let's be honest, Logano has built an incredible career with multiple Cup Series championships driving for Team Penske. But part of that career has also been defined by aggressive driving and intense rivalries inside the garage. Some fans love that style. Others think it crosses the line sometimes. And right now, after what happened at Phoenix, that debate is louder than ever. Because when multiple drivers start calling someone out publicly, and another driver is asking NASCAR to investigate, that story doesn't just end when the race is over. It carries straight into the next race weekend. And now everyone in the garage is going to be watching very closely to see what happens next between these drivers. At the end of the day, moments like this are part of what makes NASCAR so intense. This sport is emotional. Drivers race hard every single week. Championships are on the line, and sometimes those emotions spill over. But the big question now is whether this situation cools down or turns into a full-blown rivalry moving forward this season. And honestly, the next time these drivers line up on a restart, people are going to be watching very closely. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think what happened at Phoenix was just hard racing, or did Logano cross the line? Got it. Here's the updated version with 1,000 subscriber goal and your channel name. Drop your opinion in the comments because NASCAR fans always have strong takes on moments like this. And if you enjoy talking NASCAR with real fans who follow this sport every week, make sure you like the video and subscribe. NASCAR Central Race is still a brand new channel, and we're trying to hit our first big goal of 1,000 subscribers with real racing fans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.